the traffic situation.
Yeah, you know how that go. Peace, family. So we're back once again this week with another DOA TBM, and we're joined with the Honorable T-JUDA and the Honorable OG Fly. What's good, my brothers?
Hey,
Salute, my
salute,
bro.
salute.
Yes,
Salute,
sir.
man. Them.
You know why? This what a crazy picture. We look like three sets of cosmic travelers on you know different journeys, but headed to the same destination.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So we definitely want to say shouts out to everybody. If you're joining us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be updated on new drops and content. You can check us out on aboutthatonline.com for a lot more exclusives, from music to the podcast, to fashion and other stuff, and check out information there where you can support us, an independent black business. So, we want to talk about music and stuff this week. A lot of people know us from the music side of things as well. We've got OG Fly, definitely. He's known for his music and stuff locally here within the UK and other places around the world. T-JUDA, he's done his thing. So we're going to be talking at music, looking at music nowadays, hip hop, the genre that we're all kind of a part of and we all love so much, kind of exploring. Has hip hop hit its peak at the minute? Has it been, hijacked in a sense, and other people been able to come in and capitalize off it now more so in the state where we're seeing I think a lot of repetitiousness from black creators. So that's what we're gonna look at this week, man. So what say you, OG? I know you've got a lot to say when it comes to hip hop. First and foremost, you want to tell us a bit about your hip hop platform?
Yeah, man. People check it out, man. All day UK. I'm just throwing UK talent out there all day. The ones there trying to get unsigned artists, notice and that, because you have to deal with copywritten. That's why I try. I have to choose carefully who I do. But yeah, man. All day UK. Check the videos out. Them ones there. Bit of fun. Bit of. It's all good. Check it out, man.
No doubt, man. So, looking at hip hop music nowadays and stuff, and even for yourself as a creator, I know personally you expressed in one of the interviews and stuff we did before that you kind of went through your own sort of transitional changes within the music that's being produced. Do you feel as though hip hop's hit a peak of where it's at now, and creators more so from the black, you know, side of things are just doing the same stuff, and we're not seeing a resurge of any new kind of creativity?
Something else will come out of it. I mean, this is um hip hop isn't just rap, isn't just hip hop. So let's say we got rap and then we've got all the umbrellas underneath it. You can have hip hop, the ones there. You can have bounce, even these days what they're calling drill, trap. These are all products of hip hop. The ones there. It's just like hip hop is a product of reggae. It all come from somewhere, and reggae. So you've got to know that it's never gonna stop. Things are always gonna can you say evolve? But it's just
Yeah.
where it's scary where it's gonna go with it though. That's my only problem, is my fear of where is it actually going.
I think us as creators and creative people, we're definitely known to always, constantly keep reinventing the wheel in a sense, or spinning off that creativity. And as you said, different subgenres of music being formed coming from its original sort of strength. Like with the hip hop that we're hearing nowadays, and we definitely represent hip hop and the hip hop union the strong way and the long way. But I feel as though it's kind of tough when you think of it sometimes, and I think to myself that a new sound is sort of needed or to sort of evolve into. But hip hop's one art form of music that can take so many different sounds and utilize them, which is what makes it sort of hip hop to begin with. So it's sort of like how do you then recreate something or elevate something that's already hit a creative point? But some would argue that a lot of the true fundamentals and the higher aspects of hip hop is being silenced, which is more the issue of a more of a censorship of the true hip hop and the genuine hip hop, and more pushing of this repetitive and easy to sort of create hip hop. And I've seen like even artists from other cultures and stuff come in now and do hip hop, and they'll even trash some of these new age mumble rappers and stuff, and they sort of speak about him in a vein as if that's all that's being produced from, let's say, the black artists and stuff, but there's still a lot of the conscious music and stuff out there. I think, but I think it's being silenced.
Yeah, definitely. It's what's getting the push. That's the problem. So if you could say, is hip hop dead? Is hip hop in a chokehold? There's still a lane for everything. It all still exists. It's just what you want to tap in and listen to. Like all of this commercial stuff and funny stuff that's going on, I don't listen to it unless I want to study something. I'm not listening to it because that's not what I tap into. I still tap into what I want to tap into. So there's still definitely a market for it. It's just unfortunately that what's getting promoted and what's getting pushed every couple of years is a newer sound. And unfortunately, the newer the sound's getting, the weirder the sound's getting. Because you got to remember, hip hop didn't change. Struggle hasn't stopped. There's always a struggle. I think everyone just needs to look in the mirror and pick a struggle because they don't know what they are these days. Look in the mirror, pick a struggle. The music is like, look at Tupac, for instance. He makes timeless music. That music can still be made. He can still get played today and catch feeling. You know, the one's there. So the music doesn't have to die. The feeling doesn't have to die. It's just what they're promoting. So I just tell everyone, don't get caught up in numbers and what they're seeing too much. Look for what you want to look for. Find it. It's out there.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of interesting points. I'm gonna get to T. I know you probably gonna want to chime in, but I know we see a difference now, I guess, in a lot of the storytelling. Even though I do believe there is still, as you said, a lot of the original fundamentals of storytelling, people speaking from a struggle aspect and being able to relate stories through an artistic or poetic form, and bringing that music to the forefront. However, I feel as though a lot of we love hip hop, but I feel hip hop still coming out of its sort of infancy on a major music level. I think it's got to that commercial point now where it's big and everybody's sort of accepted it, and everybody's into hip hop and all this sort of stuff now. But if you ask a lot of these new age kind of artists and sometimes even audience about like some of the generations before in hip hop, they wouldn't really know them. I mean, we saw stuff recently with like Lil Xan and some of these other artists say they don't even know Tupac, or they just about heard this artist and that artist. And I feel as though with music becomes timeless like years later and stuff. And I believe, especially with rap, like you said, Tupac, there's certain artists that I think have sort of reached that level of where their name will live on for ever and generations after people will identify them. But I also feel as though a lot of the fundamentals of the artistry and the music, I guess, is kind of being lost with the more popularity that's came to the culture of hip hop on a wider aspect.
Yeah, the popularity. I mean, that's what it comes down to, because it's like every game. If you come in a game and then you don't study the game, you really don't respect it. So you're fully not gonna. Oh, is T back? Yeah, man. Let me just quickly say.
I had got a business call, so I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Did you manage to pick up anything Fon said?
Yeah, you guys was talking about, the hip hop and everything. I was listening in, but I had to go on mute for a little bit. But yeah, I definitely heard the conversation. Y'all got more experience than me in that area, so I'm learning something at the same time. So yeah, I don't mind listening.
Yeah, it's just like on the tip that they need to they don't respect the game, because if they respected the game, they'll do the history on it. You know, them ones there. And if they did the history on it, they might understand that they need to come a little bit better because they're representing the ones before them. But they ain't got no respect in the game. You know, them ones there, like come on, man, you got a 12-year-old, 13-year-old rapping, then Donnie's getting contracts at 15, 16. Who they gonna respect, bro? Especially when they're getting money, they probably feel like they're getting more money than the artists that we're trying to say you should respect. So who they gonna respect?
So, I get you. So I mean, there's a lot to look at with this, because I feel as though hip hop and the artists always served as sort of teachers in one aspect to the younger generations of the community and stuff, and you know, sometimes to the peer groups and stuff as well. And one thing, especially going back with the early hip hop as we know it, to me there was an importance in like lyrics and stuff. There was an importance in the meaning behind the sound and message. And that's not to say every song had to be, you know, the deepest, but I think there was more focus on that then at that time. Whereas like nowadays, and I know you can't put everybody in the category. So it's like I say some of these things and they're like sweeping statements, but you know you can't say it for everybody. But I think on a major scale, some of the best rappers that now are
Facts.
doing more lyrical stuff are coming from other groups where that's being pushed on a mainstream level, which I think is kind of interesting because I think when you go like 10 years down the line, that's when the face of hip hop will start then changing, where people will be able to say, okay, well, the best artists are going to be this person, that person, and the other person, but you're not really going to see the progenitors and the originators of it and stuff. And I feel hip hop's at one of those points at a precipice of where there's so much of us that still appreciate and sort of fight for the art form and represent it. But so many others have been able to kind of come into it now and, you know, carve their own sort of lanes and things within it and capitalize on certain other aspects of it. But I feel as though with the music that's being produced, there's more focus on making some of these other artists appear to be more lyrical or have more substance in what they're saying. And like even in the UK, and I don't know much people's names, but I've come across a lot of UK artists. And you know, you've got the street artists who generally rap the street stuff, and they're of a certain or similar level. But then if you go into like some of the UK hip hop sort of events and groups where it's like, you know, the British people and the white people and stuff that do hip hop, a lot of them they study off like the old school East Coast hip hop and be on that lyrical kind of, you know what I mean, that sort of stuff. And some of them will even be like, oh, we don't listen to drill, we don't listen to trap, or we don't listen to like, they'll be trashing that kind of music, even though it's coming from a creative strand of people who are more indicative of the art form. You know what I mean, if I'm making sense. But there's just so much that I see like that with hip hop nowadays. So it's like, are we at that point then as black creators where we need to take the music to a different level now, where because we're kind of known to always create stuff and it kind of gets utilized by other people in different ways and stuff. And I think once it gets to that point, we're kind of bored of it sometimes. Maybe some of us aren't bored of it and are still, but I think some of us get kind of bored of it and then start, you know, really creating into a different level. And I think, I don't know, do you feel hip hop's there, or do you think we're just in a like a stalemate period at the minute?
As well articulated, bro.
I hope it was. I feel like I said a whole lot of shit.
Oh
Right,
yes,
bro.
sir.
For real.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like I was saying before, hip hop is, if it's not dead, it's in a chokehold. It's either in a chokehold or it's got two bullets in its head. But I'm on a tip like hip hop. It didn't. Listen, like I said, we struggle. If the struggle never stops, you know, them ones there. It just depends what you call what you want to call old school. People call things. Oh, if you've made me a beat that's very like piano based hip hop, but it was made in 2020. Is that an old school? And I'm spitting real bars. I'm spitting righteous bars. Is that old school? Is that just the essence?
Yeah.
People don't get old school twisted, because that does that mean is being like is being like saying my Caribbean, my essence is Caribbean. Is that old school? Because I've had this essence for 35 years. It never dies. It never dies. New ones are going to come up with the same essence. They're just killing the essence. You know, the one they're killing with this craziness is killing the essence. And quickly back to what you said about the UK rappers and a lot of white rappers and that there, because you got to remember, we're way behind America. It's not only too long ago that we couldn't come out spitting no nonsense. You know, the ones there, like you had to have bars.
Yeah,
We
trying
were
to
still,
lyrics.
we were still talking about cats like Big L. Everyone was still feeling Jadakiss. Nas was still a fan favorite over here. You know, the ones there. So you had to be about lyrics. And then don't get me wrong, it's good to come up with another level. It's just don't go take it there, but don't take it somewhere else. Go in a straight line with it, kind of like. Don't take it up there. That's the difference. It's like there could be a different genre because man wearing tees and hoodies on the corner can't be in the same genre as man wearing a wedding dress and lipstick with a handbag. But you're a man. That can't be the same genre, my bro.
Do you think as black? Do you think on a side note, even as a creator yourself, that black creators have hit like a creative peak within hip hop, within just the boundaries that they're willing to go to? I mean, one of the things that people really heralded Eminem for at his time was the fact that he. I think I heard a Talib Kweli interview, and he said, you know, it wasn't the fact that like he was the dopest rapper or anything, but what he could rap about at the time was beyond what the other rappers were generally speaking about. It was, you know, most of the rappers then it was either about, you know, in one aspect, you know, a lot of it was about the struggle of society and social commentary, or it was about how dope there was as a rapper and you know, putting, you know, I'm a hot rapper, you know, that sort of stuff. It was like, and he kind of came and rapped about, you know, different outlandish stuff and, you know, his own kind of upbringing in a different aspect of which isn't necessarily new. And one thing I noticed that with hip hop was kind of creating that lane for people of all nationalities and walks of life where they can rap about their own lifestyle and upbringing now, but use the hip hop sort of formula for it. You know, it doesn't matter whether they grew up in a trailer park or whether they grew up on benefits in a council estate in London, or whether they, you know, grew up in Bulgaria or whatever. You know, a lot, people use those hip hop formulas that the original creators laid down and use them to tell, especially those kind of stories and concepts. But what I was saying about the black creators is, I mean, recently we've seen like Lil Nas X and a lot of uproar where some people would say these guys like Nas X and Kid Cudi and what's the other guys? They Young Thug and some of them, they, you know, they wear dresses and they do this sort of stuff and they get a lot of heat.
Hey, hey, bro, you said Young Thug wore a dress? I mean, oh yeah, I thought it said Slim Thug. I'm sorry.
Oh, you know, not Slim, not Slim.
Okay.
Yeah, not fucking
Okay.
about, but yeah, I say that because when I just aforementioned like Eminem and stuff like that, and you know, it was it's celebrated and stuff as seen as taking hip hop to a different level of creativity and stuff. Do you think that could be said the same for some of these new artists, or do you think rap itself still is kind of stuck at a period of not allowing certain levels of creativity or expression into it?
Well, you gotta look at who control it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the entities that, from what I observed, you know, you got certain elements like the wicked powers, man. They kind of control the industry, music industry, sports. So that's why the underground. Thank God for the underground, right? So yeah, you're right, man. The mainstream is basically controlled by the, like you was talking about earlier. You know what I'm saying? They can put.
Oh man.
Yeah, it might have a bit of interference because he out on the road, but
Right though, bro.
you know,
He's
they can give you project the thumbs up or give it the kibosh.
100% they can, and that's what they do. You know, like we said before, because it boils down to their agenda and the narrative. So they need to push what they're gonna push. But at the end of the day, we're still out here. There's still a million people making beautiful hip hop music. You know, them ones there. We just need to check for them. Just keep on pushing because the internet's getting bigger. So just use it how we need to use it. And if people want to check for you, they'll check for you. Don't look to come in. You got to love this. If you love this and you're having fun with it, just keep on doing it. Don't worry about everything will come. What's meant to come to you will come to you. But then if you want to be that guy and you just want to chase millionaires, then you're going to do whatever you want to do for that. You know, them ones there when you come out hip hop, like when you first come out as a child, yeah, you don't look for money, you just look for happiness. You know, them ones there, like just it's out there. Let's just keep on pushing it, because they're gonna keep on pushing the dresses, the lipstick, the skirts, and everything that just doesn't make sense.
I mean, you know, KRS-One, he dropped a new project recently, which is dope. You know, knock him off the box. You know, and he's been dropping quite a lot of dope stuff. And you know, I say that because, you know, one of the reasons we've entitled this, you know, is hip hop dead? And you know, this was something that Nas said a few years ago in one of his albums. You know, hip hop is dead. And you know, I know there was a split meaning behind it, because that's the dope thing about Nas, because even with his albums, he puts questions out there, you know, with the title. He did an album that was, they wouldn't let him call it the N-word, and he had to put it out with the untitled album title, you know, because, you know, he wanted to raise attention to what was happening at the time, where they was, you know, trying to put a ban and a block on the word, because a lot of the rappers were using it and people was using it in the entertainment business, but to an effect of they were making money and profiting and stuff as well. And, you know, so there was a lot of different stuff behind it and reasoning and rationale. So he kind of summed it up in that whole album and put a whole lot of different slant and perspective on it and stuff. And same with the Hip Hop is Dead sort of album. I believe that at the time, where, you know, even us, we advocate hip hop, but we ask the questions and we explore things from the vantage point that sometimes people may not want to look at and stuff. And I feel as though I take a lot of the Lord Jamar standpoint on some stuff, because, you know, peace to Lord Jamar and the United Mean Godcast, even though he got one of his videos taken down off my channel and got us a copyright strike, you dig? And, you know, and it's crazy because I emailed him, I said, bruh, you could have emailed me and, like, you know, instead of making me get a strike, and he's hit back like, oh, you could have not put it up, and
let me.
And I had to just laugh. I was like,
yeah, this is what I'm saying, and I don't want to be disrespectful to no one, so I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to try and say it in the best way, but like Nas, he's on a certain level where hip hop may be dead in the plateau that he's sitting on. You know, them ones there, like, is he looking back at the streets, you know, where it's really popping? Like, we need to remember what pops the streets, what's popping on the streets really is what's going on out here. You know, them ones there, that's why we got to stop looking at the figures and stuff like that, because what's going on the streets is what's going on out here. So on the plateau Nas is sitting on, hip hop's dead on that plateau, but we can rebuild. Like he said in it, we can break down and rebuild. Not a thing. And I don't even the other mention that you artists, I don't want to mention artists that you mentioned. He needs to address his boss and some of his beliefs before I even start listening to them, man.
I'm trying to think who was I mentioned, but now you ain't
so I've 3 letters.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I choose wisely who I listen to.
Yeah, I mean, but not everybody. I'm with you on that. I feel as though, you know, not everybody's like that, especially nowadays. And that's one of the things what we're seeing with even just hip hop now, especially coming from a mainstream level. I guess some people have, you know, raised eyebrows where it comes to some of the stuff that's being, you know, pushed and promoted and propagated, especially out to the next generation, because a lot of it's devoid of some of the original fundamentals of just teaching. And it kind of leads to what T was saying about just, I guess, who be controlling stuff nowadays, because we know that I think it's like there's a few companies, and between those few companies, you know, all of the other major and minor companies break down underneath their companies and stuff, you know. So you've got big figures sitting at the top and calling the direction and how they want things to go, especially when it comes to like music and stuff.
Bring it out, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad they keep it going, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm out here on the road, so you know how that go. My cell towers is terrible, but do your thing, man.
I'm just saying, man, like, too much of our people are willing to support the nonsense though, bro, man. You know, them ones, it's like, Look at all them dudes, man, and they brought out that kid with the rainbow hair, bro. Like that's when I saw the essence of hip hop was dead. After that, like that was it. Nothing could surprise me after that rainbow head youth situation.
Do you think he
You
could
know
have came
what
out in the sorry to cut you, think he could have came out in the 90s?
You know them ones there. They had Cypress Hill. What you need? You didn't need that, dude. You know them ones they had something for real, like Cypress Hill. Something man could really get down with. They would never had that rainbow head shit going on. I
Yeah,
mean,
fair.
who mistook him for a funk? Who did they think they were selling that to? And but they allowed this to happen, though, bro. That's the bigger picture. The fact that they allowed this to happen. So whoever's coming from the top with their bag and they're letting this dude hold the front line, spew off the nigger word like it's nothing, talking about he'll shoot everything. He's causing beef throughout the city, real shootings.
Did you ever see there was a video that was circulating around social media a few years back, and it was this young rapper Bobby Shmurda, and he was on.
Salute, that's my artist.
Well, you know, I don't know if you've seen this clip because it kind of, I guess it was like the 6ix9ine thing you were saying, because he was auditioning, I guess, to a bunch of like record label execs and stuff. So here he is in this room full of I don't think it was another colored person in the room. You know, not that I could see, but you know when they all in the room and he rapping and doing his stick. I'm the hot nigga, doing this, he doing
Wow,
his hot stick, and they're like, oh my god, like they sign him up, and it was one of those kind of videos. But I remember it made the rounds on social media because people would say like it seemed as he was sort of not minstrel to him in a sense, but it was like it's one thing I guess people probably seen somebody come out who's had a deal, but when they've actually seen a video of them performing to people, but then they're looking at the types of people they're performing to and just it's saying, oh, they should have a problem with the stuff that he's saying, but they don't, and we got
because
we got to think
there's
about
a bag. There's a bag. Like, why are they gonna have a problem with what he's saying when there's a bag? They're looking at this dude like he's gonna make us millions. You know, the ones there, whatever he's doing, he's talking about Bobby as a hot nigga, whatever he's up to, the fucking, yeah, this is the new wave, he's got it, man. These fuckers are getting horny over that shit, bro. Come on, man. They're hearing it. Fuck what he's got to say. You can call us all kind of white fuckers, this, that, as long as you don't say Jews, the ones there, but you can do all the rest of it. Come on, man, you're good.
The thing is, it's like, are they fine pushing that then to kids, as long as you said, like you said, there's a bag involved or there's money involved, they don't really mind pushing that to kids. It kind of changes the ethics.
Yeah, that's right. The only reason why I'm not talking about pushing the agenda to kids, because, brother, we got to remember the agenda's being pushed on the kids from early 90s. So we can talk about because the agenda, there's the money, there's the agenda, there's all the I'm not gonna hold my punches because I'm a Bobby Shmurda fan, them ones there, but there's the funny boy dancing and all of that, them ones there, they got a lot of fun boy dancing going on, dancing too close to each other with next man with their pants halfway down their trousers. You can't be dancing with a man like that.
Who be doing that? Who be doing that too?
Yeah, that's what I like. I don't like saying it because I pump Bobby Shmurda's music all day. But yeah, in their videos and that they dance too close to each other and all of these funny guy things. But anyway, like I don't know, but I'm just saying, like even they got that agenda going on. But the narrative of misleading the children, that's been happening from the early 90s.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that stuff. I just more so meant like if we're saying we want to live in a positive or all around positive society, and one of the reasons we hip hop and that stuff was created because people wanted to use their voice to talk about stuff that was going on in their communities, often to make a change because they were tired of the stuff. But I think fast forward, we see people that have embraced a lot of the conditions, and sometimes we see it being glorified, but in a society that should want to effectively challenge these kind of social environments and conditions, are these kind of label heads and figures being irresponsible in that sense, where you know, not as a knock at the artist completely, but they want to push certain artists. We're going to push a certain type of, as you
Of
said,
course.
energy and sound and message sometimes to the youngsters to reinforce a certain mindset. You know, some say there's a huge link between the hip hop industry and the prison industrial complex.
They signed a deal.
Yeah, facts.
They signed a deal to fill up private prisons.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what's happening. We just got to remember it starts from the root. It can only happen if you let them. You know, the ones there. I mean, maybe I haven't got as much empathy as I thought I had, yeah, but only if you let them. You know, them ones there. Now it's like I was saying before, like from the early 90s, we've been nothing but drug dealers in rap. No matter how lyrical and I want to call it hip hop, you know, them ones there, we've been nothing but drug dealers. We've been nothing but killers for the most part. If you ain't about it, then you're a bitch. Like, how are you gonna make somebody feel? For real, for real. So, like, oh, if we're the root, if you can only if we let them, and that's exactly what we've been doing.
So, you know, with that being said, and it's interesting, I was talking to, you know, Peace to Los Angeles. He gonna be joining us next time. And me and Floss, we was building and we were speaking on, you know, it kind of leads credence to what you just said, like, because sometimes there's a lot of focus on, there can be a lot of focus on, you know, external forces and what people are doing from the outside, as opposed to sometimes what we need to be doing from the inside. I was saying, you know, me and Floss were talking about what direction hip hop needs to go going forward and stuff, and some of us as artists and creatives and stuff, what role we're gonna play in, like, you know, keeping the true elements alive, but going forward with a new resurgence of that original energy, you know, because some of that, you know, especially I think a lot of us from our eras that grew up on the, you know, the lynch mobs and the Ice Cubes and the, you know, the Cool G raps and, you know, the Big Daddy Kanes and the KRS's, and, you know, bringing it forward to the Prodigies and the Mob Deeps and the Boot Camp Clicks and the Busta Rhymes and the No Limits and the Naughty by Natures and the, you know, E40s and Spice Ones and the, you know, so, and, you know, I didn't even much touch on the South, the Ghetto Boys and, you know, 8 Ball and them, and, you know, so this culture of us, we've spawned, you know, a lot of mighty giants and stuff like that. And definitely I feel as hip hop being in its infancy, when we think back and we look at like songs that are timeless and from other genres, like, you know, your blues and your R&Bs and, you know, more so your soul and some of those kind of your reggae and stuff like that. They've got a few years on hip hop, whereas I feel like a lot of the stuff from the 90s at the minute is held up as like what people really hold up as like the golden stuff. I think some of the 80s stuff gets kind of slept on, where I feel the real aficionados are kind of, you know, up on knowledge and stuff. But, you know, most people from the young generation, if you ask them about some stuff from the 80s, they wouldn't really know it. I mean, they might know some Run DMC stuff if it's still popping out there, you know. But I say all that to say this: us as creatives now, we gotta take and harness all of that energy from, you know, the progenitors before us and really build on that and, you know, keep enhancing on that and elevating, because I feel as though even though the gates have been opened for other people to be a part of hip hop and, you know, do their elements and their variation, we got a lot of youngsters in our community and stuff that are always gonna look to people like themselves and stuff to you know, want to be like, want to gain understanding from. And I think, you know, the music play a big part in that. So I think for a lot of us as artists, we gotta definitely come and make sure we uphold the old elements with a new twist, you know.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way forward. It's the only thing that we can try and do. But the only thing you just gotta always remember, there's always gonna be two sides to the coin. They're never gonna stop what they're doing. I mean, whatever they've been doing, they've been building that pyramid for years and years and centuries and centuries. You think they're gonna stop now? But at the same time, the other side of the coin is where we come into it. There's enough of us. We just need to network. You know, then once they get off the backsides, next work, and just support each other. Like the lack of support is terrible, and I don't know, man, because I know that I can go round, and most people I go round, they're gonna only listen to real hip hop. You know, them ones there. So there's enough of us. Just need to push it. Don't stop. Just don't stop doing it. Just know that our level's not gonna be where they're at because they own everything, but we're here. So just focus on what's going on here. You know them ones there. You don't see people, that's living off their land and loving their life and just doing what they're doing with hardly anything, but they've got a lot to themselves. You don't see them trying to run all over the country, trying to grab this and trying to grab that all over the world. You know them ones they're corrupting themselves along the way. They're happy in their circle. Let's be happy in our circle.
Ooh, man, that's deep.
And I think that's one of the good things just to touch on with digital independence now, with new technology and stuff going forward. People are able to manage their own digital assets and creative works a lot more easier as opposed to old times before. You know, I think a lot of people feel as though it's unfair within the industry, and not just within the industry, but within society, for one entity or one particular group of people to capitalize and monopolize on stuff at the behest of others using unscrupulous methods and tactics, thuggery, and all sorts of things like that, man.
Bro, you know what I say to the people, like, unfair. What kind of a word is unfair? That word's for bitches and pum-pums. You understand that? Don't worry about unfair. Just get yours. Go hard. We know the struggle. Go hard. You know, the ones that people are too easy to just kick back and just be easy. Just want to go somewhere and just pay their rent or do whatever, or just want an easy life. What do you mean you just want, bro, go hard? Because if you ain't going hard, what you doing?
Life is and can be very unfair, and but you know, we say that to say this. I mean, I think it's kind of a thing. Me and T was saying at one point was, you know, nobody's perfect, and you know, we can all fall short of glory in different ways and stuff. However, there are people that delight in their own sort of, you know, wickedness and unfair tactics and practices. They find a delight in it, you know, which is but as you said, there's two sides of the coin. You always gonna have the righteous and you always gonna have the wicked and stuff as well. But I think the more we're able to shed light on things, and you know, the more we see things coming into fruition, you know, people are always generally exposed for who they are. It's like they say, when the light comes out or the sun come out in the sky, the cover of darkness is lifted from the wicked, and they caught in the very act, you know. But that's how it is, and we see a lot of that even within the industry, because, you know, I guess it's a different topic for a different conversation. You know, we might get a few people on here who probably don't mind sharing some stories, but you know, there's a lot of you know, a dark side to the industry and stuff too, you know. So
that's it.
Yeah,
there definitely is, brother. That's the other side of the coin. That's what we're fighting. This is why when I say, when we're talking about hip hop and that, what are you really saying? Like, you know, if you're what, this is why I find it hard to listen to and give ratings to a lot of people as I've grown older and I've come into my own correct mind. You know, and the ones there, I'm on the tip, like most of these dudes weren't even worth listening to, because even if you're rapping and you're keeping the essence of what you call hip hop alive, your words, brother, if you're not talking about fighting what they're trying to bring, then you're not really talking about nothing. I don't care how hip hop your beat is. I don't care how tight your bars are. You know, them ones there. If every other bar is, if you've got nigger in every other bar, you're a killer in every other bar, you've sold drugs in every other bar, and that's what you're talking about. But you're not talking about knocking off the devils then. That's all I can fuck with.
Yeah, I think it's mad because KRS said something very similar in his last single. You know, he got some kind of lyric, like, you know, where he says something to that effect, where, you know, and you know, you've got certain artists like that who, you know, 20 plus albums, long-standing careers, you know, hitting hard, unrelenting. They may not get the same level of support from a mainstream aspect, but well respected, you know, still able to teach, still able to be out there doing their thing and stuff, and you know, maintain their own dignity in a lot of ways and stuff as well, because you know, for what some people do or have done, or what it's been reported or speculated some people do or have done to reach a high level in the industry, sometimes it's cost them at their morale, or you know, other levels, spiritual levels and stuff like that too, man.
Yeah, but it's
Yes,
not hard
sir.
to see. Yeah, man. You see some people break under that. I mean, like, you can't get into it because if I say anything, it's just speculation. But yeah, you see people break underneath that. You know, no one's there. So yeah, that part, that energy is definitely going on. The only other type of energy from people like ourselves, if we're calling ourselves real, and that is the total opposite energy we got to be bringing. Anything in between is just a smoke screen. There's only two sides to everything. Everything is only two sides, good and evil. Everything else in between is a smoke screen. Color, this war, this beef, this whatever. It's all a smoke screen. You know, and the one's there. So for all that bad energy they bring in, I can only mess with people that bring in good energy. And the people that bring in good energy are the ones who's talking about knocking off racism and knocking off these devils' heads.
Yeah, that sound like some hip hop stuff to me. You know, definitely something I've been accustomed from hearing from this mighty art form of culture. Hip hop definitely one thing that people would say transcended its original localities from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Harlem, Staten Island, Manhattan, and so on and so forth. Long Island, you know, stretching over to Jersey, the West Coast, the South, even worldwide. So you know, we know that hip hop definitely is something that's transcended just our community, because like most things that start within our community, it then expands into others, adapting, developing, and learning from and stuff. So we definitely appreciate those from other places that have a true level of like respect and appreciation for the culture and stuff, and you know, want to participate in their kind of way, just with the right understanding though of just you know, knowing who the originators and stuff are, and you know, because I always feel as though you can't try to tell somebody else what to do with their stuff, you know. So you know, because you could, there's certain things we can do too, but others are, there's only a certain level amount of stuff you'd be able to tell other people that they'll let you get away with. So, and I think it should be the same with us for the stuff that we create too, which is why even myself, I've been known to be so vocal, a diehard about hip hop across my tenure in the music business and stuff. And we'll continue to going forward. So yeah, T man, you back with us?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you got any last
Yeah.
points you want to make before we wind down?
Yeah, man. I from what I, you know that people use things, and this is life in general. No matter how much money people got, when you got integrity and dignity, and you know yourself, you know your worth in lane terms, man, you know that you are gonna be. The problem in society is people are followers, and some of us not cut out to be followers, man. Once we understand it is peer pressure, but we know that the world we live in is so corrupted, and you know we got to realize that. And so people use that and abuse their authority. You know what I'm saying? We see it happen to people time and time again. People think like, okay, I want to get like these people. I want to be. And a lot of people they envy people for all the wrong reasons. Like a lot of these celebrities, man, they would love to have a life like the common folk, like a lot of normal people. But you know, it's things that we have they don't have. We have class. I ain't saying all celebrity. I'm saying for we seen what happened with Hollywood, how they done destroyed lives, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, man. But when people use that power to corrupt it, then it has to be opposition to call that out. Because a lot of us not gonna sit on our hands, man, while the world implode. And then you got some people. I hear a lot of people. Oh man, don't. Man, I ain't worried about all that, man. I don't want to talk about it. But them the kind of people, man, that fall for anything. They try to ignore a problem, and if you doing well in your community falling apart around you, how could you sit? How could that sit well with you? You know?
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. I think one thing that we think is, especially on this platform, I'm gonna be honest, we go hard irrespective of what community it is. We don't have no bias as such to be like, I mean, if somebody do something within the black community, I'm gonna call it out. We call it out.
Bring it out.
We just keep it real, and that's what it is.
Yeah, they and I cut you off, bro. They think it's like we like on like we just all about black issues, man. We talk about any issues because you guys, y'all in the y'all do y'all think with y'all content. It's
That's right.
about some ethnic groups. They might a lot of them, man, the ones that try to act, the ones that don't want to chime in, a lot of the times, a lot of them be on the defensive. Them be the main ones that's racist or whatever, man. We know
Yeah,
that.
we get some in
It's,
the comments sometimes, trolls and stuff like that, but we
yeah,
try not to pay too much. I get trolls across the board on most of the Bad Online accounts. I get some on the music one. Oh, you such a dummy, you in this music. Oh, you just did this to, and I'm like, you so emotional coming out here talking about this, that, and the third. Like, oh, well, you put it, and I'm like, you don't even know the half of what I even do. The stuff that I speak on, the stuff that I put together on different mediums, and you're out here pissing and moaning about one little thing that ain't even got
thank
nothing
you,
to do with anything, and you
thank
coming out here trying to troll me, but I'm like, keep working up the algorithm, mate.
Exactly.
you.
At least they're paying attention. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Right, right.
Trust me. Trust me, man. I just want to say to everybody, like, the ones there. If your soul's worth money, your soul's priceless. Your soul's worth nothing. Then the ones there. If your soul's worth a check, then really your soul's worth nothing. Every day you wake up, my bros, you wake up with a chance and a choice, bruv. Choose wisely.
Amen.
no, that definitely wise words a great said, man. And we definitely want to encourage people to let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you feel as though hip hop is dead, or you feel no, it's well and truly living? Do you feel it's in need of resuscitation, evolution? Or do you think it's fine where it's at? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and stuff. We will be back discussing more hip hop on a weekly basis. We can't necessarily say hip hop's dead, because if it was, we wouldn't be doing this stuff right here. And hip hop definitely provides us a rich amount of news and stuff to cover each week in our crazy world of culture and stuff. So we just feel as though hip hop definitely needs. Well, I feel as though I should say hip hop definitely needs just a bit of management in the right places and stuff, and maybe a bit of a makeover in the right places. And by a makeover, I don't mean people stepping out in any more pantyhose and dresses.
Mm, mm, mm,
Hey,
mm.
y'all, can I for y'all can I add one more? Well, can I say something
Yeah,
now? If y'all think about this, hip hop, right? See, people, it's different classes of this. Maybe it's me. Hip hop is more like a culture. Then you got rap. You know what I'm saying? And R&B. So people see. That's the thing. I think that they misleading a lot of people, man. KRS One did hip hop. Chuck D, a lot of them, you know what I'm saying, and list goes on, did hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
people
yeah.
get rap and hip hop confused.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I think
100.
OG definitely he touched on that earlier and stuff, and how a lot of the
Mhm.
stuff that broke down and stuff like that. But fundamentally, that's why I feel like I take that Lord Jamar standpoint, where I know where hip hop was created and who it sort of belonged to and stuff. To me, that ain't even up for debate. And
Yeah,
I know a lot of other people have embraced hip hop now and see it as though, yeah, hip hop, this is our thing, this is everybody's thing. And I don't believe that to be the case, because, as I said, when things get like that, that's when they start getting messy and stuff, and start becoming confusing and stuff.
yeah. By design,
100.
huh?
So we gotta have order and stuff in the game, and definitely we're here to represent that. So we'll be back. DOATBM, OG Fly. You want to let them know anything that you got coming up and stuff as well?
I'm just posting a lot of videos up lately. Go to my YouTube channel, OG Fly, and check out No Hold Bars, and then check out All Day UK. And as the year turns, you're gonna know about music.
Okay, there you go. So and T will be back with some medicine for him real soon as well, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So we encourage y'all go out, check us out on aboutthatonline.com, where you can hear a lot more updates, segments, interviews, podcasts, so on and so forth. Peace.